In one of my recent videos, we talk about the latest quantum drive changes as well as quantum tank capacity changes for many ships for the coming Alpha 4.0. And in general that we can see, we received a nerf for the whole quantum travel system compared with the previous one, especially for our size 1 and size 2 ships. And some of those ships will not even be able to travel around Stanton, let alone Pyro. But that doesn't mean that there is nothing we can do. If this is a lemon that we're given, we better make some lemonade. So in this video, let's figure out what are the best stock size 1 and size 2 ships that can help us travel around Stanton and Pyro. And then we're going to figure out what are the best quantum drives that can help us do this job better. And in this video, I'm going to be using both Erkul and ShipViewer website. Now, let's start with Erkul first. Erkul.games is perhaps one of the most useful resources for Star Citizen players. So I'm going to do a quick overview. For today's video, we're going to be using the 4.0 data. So over here, you need to change the version from the live version to the PTU version. And there are three main sections for this website. First is the calculator. So under home on the left, click calculator, and these are all the specs for your ship's components, weapons, and so on. So each of these weapon slots you can change to different weapons. And if your ship has missiles, you can also change missiles. And under these, you'll also have the different specs for those weapons and missiles. And you can click each of them to reorganize by the priority that you choose. You also have all the slots for your components and the specs for those components as well, or rearrange them. If you click any of these weapons or components, you can see the details over here. Make sure this bar is highlighted blue, and then you can see the specs for the specific weapon or components that you choose. If you want to go back to the ship specs, just click the name of the specific ship, and then it will go back to the specific specs for that ship. It will also tell you where to buy that ship and how much. Second section is under the calculator shops. Click this. This one, you will have every single shop that's currently in game. But be aware, because this is a PTU data, so all these data are subject to change, even in the current live, because Star Citizen is an ever-changing game, is a developing game. So the data over here sometimes might be outdated, but they often update very quickly. So if you want to buy a specific ship, for example, 600i, and then you see the shops that you can buy or even rent the 600i. And rental price is not listed here, but the purchase price is listed here and from where you can buy that ship. As well as ship weapons and components. For example, XL1 Quantum Drive. I click it, it doesn't show me anything because it's been removed from the shops in the 4.0. If I want to buy a Rattler 2 missiles, now you can see all the shops that's listed that you can buy the Rattler missiles. Then you can buy this only in Stanton. However, you do have shops from Pyro as well. For example, Obituary. Good as New is the name. And click it, you can see what coolers is selling at Obituary. Power plants, quantum drives, shields, and weapons. Click the specific weapon. You can add that to cart. And over here is your cart. Click the cart, it will show you where you can buy them and how much is the total that you want to buy for this. And you can do a rating for it as well. So empty cart, close. So this is the second section that's very useful. The third section is what we're going to be using today. It's called data. Under the data, you can categorize all the datas according to, for example, weapons, all the weapons, ship weapons in game, and then all the missiles in game, all the bombs, EMP, shields. So today we're going to be using ships and vehicles, includes every single vehicle and ships. So you want to do some subcategory. So type filter, first one, we're going to choose only ships. And then career filter, role filter, we don't need to worry about it. Size filter, we're going to be looking at size 1 ships only. So click size 1. Now you see all the size 1 ships that's listed here. Let's move to the quantum fuel capacity for these size 1 ships. So click this one, quantum fuel capacity. you can organize it from the highest quantum field capacity, 1.2 SEU, to no SEU, which these are the hover bikes and snuff fighters. And now I'm going to choose only ships. I'm going to exclude all the snuff fighters and hover bikes by clicking all the ships and then click compare, select it. So these are all the flyable size 1 ships that has a quantum drive. The ships that has the lowest quantum fuel capacity are these 85X, M50 Interceptor, and 3 different variants of Razors. They have only 0.4 SEU of quantum, which sometimes you can't even make one jump in Stanton. So these ships are the worst for traveling. And the next tier are the 0.5 SEU, which includes Talon and Talon Shrike, those 2 ships, which is really bad as well. And the next tiers are 100Is, 100I, 125A, and 135C, which they recently got a little bit of buff. I think before they are 0.5, but right now they are 0.7. And the next tier of quantum fuel tanks are the Pisces. Regular Pisces, Pisces Rescue, and the Pisces Expedition. They recently got a buff. Now, their quantum field capacity sits at 1.2 SEU. Now, the answer is very clear for the size 1 ships, especially for the starter size 1 ships. So for the size 1 ships, the number 1 ship you choose to traveling is the Pisces. And number 2 is 100I. And number 3, there's no number 3 because the Talon, Shrike, and Talon, they are not starter ships. They're only fighters. And the Razor M50 Interceptor 85X is really bad at quantum travel. So we're going to select the C8 Pisces to do our detailed analysis. For that, we're going to be using our ship viewer website. So I'm going to choose the C8 Pisces. And then make sure you select the 4.0. The insurance costs are quite low. Timer is only 3.5 minutes. If you want to expedite it, the cost is only less than 2,000 AUEC, and the expedited timer is a little bit over 1 minute. So go downstairs, make a cup of coffee, and then your Pisces is here. So the insurance cost is very good for the Pisces. And now let's take a look at the stock quantum drive. That's Civilian Great Sea Expedition. With this quantum drive, the travel distance and fuel requirement ratio for this quantum drive is 100 versus 1. So to travel 100 gigameters, it only takes 1 SEU of quantum fuel. And look at the route reference. Travel from Herson to Crusader, even though it will take a longer time, but you don't have to refuel halfway. 6 minutes. Travel from Crusader to Microtac. A little bit over 7 minutes. You can travel from Microtac to Pyro Gateway, and that only uses 56.6% of quantum fuel. Once you travel to Pyro Gateway, you can refuel there, and then travel through the wormhole to reach the other side. But know this, travel through the wormhole will also take certain amount of quantum fuel. It's not a lot, but it will take certain amount quantum fuel. For the Pisces, I'm not exactly sure how much quantum fuel it will take, but if you have a full tank of quantum fuel, it's more than enough for a Pisces to travel through the wormhole and travel to the next place you want to go. For example, travel 56.77 gigameters. It will take over 6 minutes, but it will take less than half of the quantum fuel. You can even travel over 100 gigameters. It will take 10 minutes and a half, but it will not use the full tank of quantum fuel. So with the Pisces, as long as you are safe, not attacked by other players, you can travel quite comfortably from Stanton to Pyro, and then set your spawn in Pyro. In the case if you got blown up, as long as you don't have precious gears, you can reclaim the ship, pay 2,000 expedited fees, and go make a cup of coffee and come back and get your Pisces and start traveling again. And if you're using the medical Pisces, it's even better, even with the stock quantum drives, because this stock quantum drive has really good fuel efficiency. Take a look at this. If I use my mouse to hover over other quantum drives, you can see the fuel required is going up, 1.4 for this one, 1.2. So 100 versus 1 is one of the best stock quantum drives that you can have, and the Pisces has it. That's another good advantage. You don't have to go there to buy another quantum drive. You can just use the stock quantum drives on your Pisces to travel around. If you don't have a Pisces, you only have a original 100i. Let's take a look. The 100i also has one of the best size 1 quantum drives, the Expedition. Ratio is 100 versus 1. However, because of the 0.7 SCU of quantum fuel for the 100i, it is at a much disadvantage compared with the Pisces. You can travel in Stanton here. So from Person to Crusader, no problem. Crusader to Microtech, no problem. From Microtech to Pyro Gateway, one trip, it will take you 97.1% of the fuel. You would have to refuel at the Pyro Gateway. And after you arrive in Pyro, 56.77 gigameters, and it will take over 80% of quantum fuel. So 100i is still okay. It's a number 2 size 1 ship you can use to travel. But compared with Pisces, the Pisces still have a much better advantage. Now, reset. Let's check out the size 2 ships. The worst tier are the ships that has only 0.5 SE of quantum fuel. This includes a lot of ships, from the Arrow to some of the Auroras, all the Avengers, the Blade, even the Cutter and Cutter Scout recently got a nerf. And the Hawk as well, all the Mustangs, even the Vulture has only 0.5 ICU of quantum fuel. The next tier will be the 0.7 ICU of quantum fuel, includes a 300i, 325A, 350R, the Buccaneer, the Defender, and all the Hornets, Mark 1 and Mark 2s, F7C and F7As. Also includes the heavy fighter F8C Lightning, only 0.7 ICU, Gladiator, Gladius, the Drake Herald, Hurricane, Mantis, even the Nomad, only 0.7. Also the Saber, all the Sabers. And last is the Santoki Eye. From this tier up, we have the 1 SCU of quantum fuel, which is the Cutter Rambler. And then is a 1.2 SCU for the rest. 315P, Aurora LX, including the Eclipse, Hal A, Intrepid, Prospector, Scorpius, Terrapin, Medic. So now we can see the best size 2 starter ships to travel around the verse will be the Intrepid, the Aurora LX, and 315P. Now let's compare these 3 first. So first is Intrepid. We're going to compare their default quantum drives. So the Intrepid default quantum drive travel distance compared with fuel requirement is 100 versus 1.2. Next one is Aurora LX. The Aurora LX default quantum drive travel distance compared with fuel requirement 100 versus 1. This is better than the Intrepid style quantum drive. The next one is Origin 315P. 315P, same as the Aurora LX. Ratio is 100 to 1. Now let's compare the insurance claim timer. For the 315P, 5 minutes and 10. Expedited cost 2500 AUEC, and the expedited timer is 1 minute 43 seconds. Aurora LX. Aurora LX is much better. Insurance claim only 2 minutes and 42 seconds. Expedited cost is only 1500 AUEC. The timer is less than a minute. Not even time to make a coffee. And then is the Intrepid. The Intrepid is similar to the 315P, but a little bit better. The expedited cost is only 1800. Timer is 5 minutes 40 seconds. Expedited timer is 1 minute 25 seconds. So in terms of the insurance cost, the Aurora LX is the best among these 3 ships. However, compared with the stock quantum drive again, the Aurora LX, even though the ratio is 100 to 1, but it will take the Aurora LX 10 minutes and 25 seconds to travel 100 gigameters. But for the 315P, it will only take 8 minutes and 13 seconds to travel 100 gigameters. And for the Intrepid, not only the fuel requirement is higher compared with those two, the timer is not saved. 10 minutes, 8 seconds. So regardless of the insurance timer and cost, the number 1 best size 2 starter ship to travel is the 315P. it will save you a few minutes of travel time, but also it will have the highest fuel efficiency with the stock quantum drive. And also the quantum fuel capacity 1.2 SCU is the highest among all the size 2 ships. So that's why I say the Origin 315P is the #1 best size 2 starter ship to travel. And then the next one, it will be the Aurora LX. It will take a little bit longer time, yes, but the fuel efficiency is a big advantage than the Intrepid. Now, after those 3 ships, the 4th best size 2 ships to travel would be the Cutter Rambler, which has a 1 SC of quantum fuel, which was nerfed from 1.5 to 1 SCU. Because the Cutter Rambler was having 1.5 IC of quantum fuel, so I bought 4 Cutter Ramblers during the IAE, but after this nerf, I'm going to melt most of them. Because the Cutter Rambler is an exploration ship, but it got only 1 SC of quantum fuel now. If anything, the Cutter Rambler should have been the #1 best size 2 quantum fuel capacity ship. It should have stayed 1.5 ICU. But unfortunately, we only have 1 ICU. With the stock quantum drive, the fuel efficiency compared with distance, the ratio is 100 to 1.2. You can travel around Stanton, sure. But if you want to use this ship in Pyro, you really have to change to a better quantum drive. And now, what if we change out our size 1 quantum drives? Which one will be better? Which one will be the best size 1 quantum drives that will improve our travel capability for our size 1 and size 2 starter ships? Now, let's use the Intrepid for an example. So if we click the quantum drive here, I also will rearrange this by the efficiency. So the highest efficiency will be the Vulcan Industrial D. If I mouse hover this, you can see our fuel required is less than 1 SCU. Remember, we are comparing the size 1 quantum drive for your size 1 and size 2 ships. If this were a comparison for a size 2 or size 3 quantum drives, this will be different because our ships are small. We don't have enough quantum fuel tanks. So our priority is fuel efficiency rather than speed. For a size 2 or size 3 quantum drives, our priority might shift to speed because we have enough quantum fuel tanks for our bigger ships, but we want to travel faster. So that will be a different comparison. So in this video, we are only comparing the size 1, size 2 small ships. That's why I'm choosing fuel efficiency as our priority. So I want to choose the highest efficient quantum drive in order for me to travel more distances instead of stop and refuel my ship. That's why the Industrial D Vulcan and also the Flood Civilian D will give us 100 to 0.8 travel distance and fuel requirement ratio. However, compared with the Flood and Vulcan, the Vulcan travel 100 gigameters. It will take 9 minutes and 46 seconds. But for the Flood and also the Wayfarer, so we have 2 civilian Ds. So these two, to travel 100 gigameters, it will take 2 more minutes longer, 12 minutes and 23 seconds. So compared with these two, you'd rather buy the Vulcan. So let's click this. Now you can see with the Intrepid, it's actually better than any other ships we talk about. You can travel anywhere in Stanton, and also you can travel the longest distance in Pyro from endgame to terminus, 136.49 gigameters. 13 minutes though, but it will take only 91% quantum fuel. So much higher fuel efficiency that can allow you to travel faster. So the Vulcan is a #1 size 1 quantum drive in terms of the travel distance. And now, where can we buy the Vulcan and how much would it be? Now, let's go back to Erkul. Click shops and then simply type in Vulcan. 2 places in Stanton, Crew L4 Stanton and Everest Harbor Stanton. And they don't cost a lot. And you can equip this with all your size 1 ships, even with your Pisces. Your Pisces is also upgraded with a better quantum drive, faster, and also can travel further. So this is a size 1 lemonade that we just made, and I hope you enjoy it.